Good afternoon, Cryptopia. This is your boy, Benton. I am reporting live from the intergalactic headquarters, CryptoLiveLeak, and wanted to just introduce to you guys today, I'm bringing to you a vlog. It's going to be a weekly vlog. We're going to be talking about the latest and greatest inside the crypto and blockchain industry. Wanted to get you guys introduced to myself. For those of you who don't know me, I am your average guy, your everyday American, originally from Atlanta, A-Town down. Now I live here in Boston, 31 years old. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, ex-college athlete, and I am a crypto and blockchain enthusiast. I love this stuff and got involved with the space in late 2018, heading into 2019. And have not stopped since. It was a rabbit hole that got me sucked in, and here I am today reporting and blogging for CryptoLiveLeak. So for those of you who want to know a little bit more about this vlog, I am doing this to bring information to the average day, every person. If I can have an impact on one person, that would be my dream, is to get one person interested and spark that fire to get them going into the space of crypto and blockchain. So that is my goal of doing this for you guys. I want to take information that has a lot of nuances, a lot of jargon, and bring it down to a simple level to give you an understanding of what's going on. That is my mission of this blog and CryptoLiveLeak. We want to get more people from outside the industry involved with the space because we believe this is the future. It is the future today. It will be the future tomorrow. And it will be something that the world will embrace, whether they know it or not. Getting into this, I'm sure that if you're watching this today, you're probably wondering, how do you get involved with crypto? How did I get involved with it? How do you get involved with blockchain? It is very simple. For me personally, I started out with just buying some Bitcoin off of Coinbase. It was a $50, I think, transaction when I first started, just to play around with it. Yeah, I bought a little bit of Bitcoin, I bought a little bit of Ether, bought a little bit of this, a little of that, small increments just to see what it would do. Essentially, I just bought coins and sat on them. Today, that's called hodling, HODL, which is you essentially just buy coins for an extended amount of time and cash out once they raise in value. So I kind of started out doing that, and it was really cool to see the assets go up and down and up and down, and eventually they increased in value. And I was like, holy smokes, I just, doubled my investment. And that's what kind of got me involved with crypto, more specifically Bitcoin. After going to the MIT Bitcoin Expo as a newbie into this whole industry, I was able to speak with so many people across the space, and they all had very similar stories, whether it was going to a meetup and learning more and educating themselves about it, or just buying crypto on their own and learning about it. One of my biggest recommendations for those of you who don't know where to start, who don't know what to do, is just to start to learn, whether that means listening to podcasts, reading articles on CoinDesk, on CryptoLiveLeak, on Cointelegraph. These are very cool places to go and see the latest happenings of what's going on in the world of crypto and blockchain, and what some of these companies are doing, because it is truly revolutionary. Also, YouTube, great place to go just to see videos of trade analysis of crypto companies and what projects they're working on things like that. Just endless amounts of information at your fingertips. Do not be overwhelmed. My one piece of advice is do not be overwhelmed. Start somewhere, whether that means you might have an interest in the markets of cryptocurrency or some of the projects that are going on in the world. If you type in a problem in the world today, there is probably some sort of blockchain company. Go to Google, type in a problem, recycling, and blockchain. You will find information about blockchain and how it's starting to be implemented into the world today. So whatever you can think of, I recommend your passion, looking for that and typing in blockchain behind it. There is probably someone somewhere working on something that has to do with blockchain or cryptocurrency inside that area. And if that's where you want to start, I recommend that. So your main place is to just gain information, just learn about it, play around with it. You got to use this stuff to understand how it works. So that is my one piece of advice, is start somewhere, is YouTube, podcasts, books, articles, talk to people, meetup.com. They're doing digital meetups nowadays. So that's where I would start if I were you. And that's how you get involved with the space, is talking to people and getting to know what's going on and what's happening. So that's part of my goal, is to bring you guys what's going on at a very, very educational and easy digestible level. What are some of the things that I love the most about crypto and blockchain? There's two things that I love the most. Number one, I love crypto and blockchain because it is designed to manufacture trust between parties. That to me means that is giving power back to the people. A lot of things today, there's one central entity or a third party managing and overseeing things, and we have to trust that party that they're going to do the right thing. That doesn't always happen. So in today's day and time, blockchain is a decentralized technology, and most times there can be centralized blockchains. Most times they are decentralized, which also gives verification and authentication that the data being stored on the blockchain is valid and true, because once information is on a blockchain, typically it cannot be modified. There are certain circumstances with different blockchains that it can be, depending on how it's structured and formatted. But for the most part, blockchain and crypto are manufacturing trust between parties that may not know each other, whether that's people to people, business to business, business to people, whatever it may be. Is exchanging truth, I think, is really what's happening with blockchain. It's verifying truth and data. So that's number one. Number two, I absolutely love the diversity in this industry and space. Just from visiting the expo that I went to in early March, there is so many people, all walks of life, all races, all different kinds of people with all different backgrounds, from business to advertising to tech to coding to development to engineering. You name it, there's somebody with some different background that's getting involved in the space, because that is the coolest part. Is, like I said earlier, blockchain will be the future. So imagine every industry across the world adapting some little bit, some little piece of blockchain into what they're doing. And I think it's going to help efficiency and optimize everything that we're doing today. As you can see, they're using blockchain today with voting for the Senate. They're going to try to roll that out. They're using blockchain to verify and trace COVID-19 patients. It is something that we're seeing, and the wave is building. The wave is building, and it is the very tip of the iceberg, folks. It is coming. Blockchain is coming to your world, whether you know it or not. And I think that's the coolest part. Two biggest things I love about crypto and blockchain. Boom and boom. This week, folks, we are going to be talking about the happening. What is it? What's happening? Who knows what this is? So first of all, we're going to give it to you very elementary level this week. What is it? Very simple terms. Every 4 years, it has been programmed into Bitcoin's blockchain that the rewards for mining the data to go verifying the blocks on the blockchain will be cut in half. So the last halving was in 2016 of July. Now, what's happening today? For every reward before May 12th, which is the date of the next halving, miners are getting 12.5 Bitcoins for verifying blocks on the Bitcoin blockchain. So what's happening after the 12th is those miners are now going to get 6.25 Bitcoins for their reward for verifying the data on each block. What does that mean? First of all, what is a miner? Okay, a miner is something or someone that uses a computer to validate new transactions and records them on the global ledger. So somebody transactions with somebody else and they exchange that data. They are essentially, the miners are the people or computers or entities that are verifying this data, and they're using computers to solve these complex algorithms that says, yes, this is the correct data that matches up and is being stored on that blockchain. Once it hits the blockchain, can never move. So what's happening is these miners are no longer being incentivized as much. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Are some miners, not going to be able to stay in business because they're not making enough reward? Some of these miners have huge farms. More specifically, Hungary is a big place that has a lot of miners. Places where there's cheap electricity typically, because these computers take a lot of energy. Iceland is another place. I think Wyoming and Montana have a lot of mining farms that require a lot of energy. So these places are typically found in colder environments. So those miners are the ones that are verifying the data and making sure the blockchain is up to date and verifying everything. So they are very important for the ecosystem. So it's going to be interesting to see if their rewards are cut in half, what's going to happen. So to me, in a nutshell, what I think is going to happen is that things are going to become more scarce. So what I mean by that is Bitcoin in itself is already scarce. It was designed to only have 18 million total Bitcoins ever produced in the history of Bitcoin. And already there's about 4 million Bitcoins that have been lost. Nobody knows how to recover them. They were stored on a hard drive and somebody threw them out. So really there's about 14 million Bitcoins that will be in circulation when it's all said and done. So it is already scarce. If you look at other markets like gold is a $1 trillion market, and it's store of value. Same thing with Bitcoin, except right now, today, it is I believe it's like a $2.5 billion industry, or $1 billion market cap. So what that means is there is room for growth, folks. There is much more room to go. So when an item asset is scarce, the value of that will rise. So in time, I believe that the value of Bitcoin will rise because of the less amount in circulation. So if people are being rewarded less, therefore there is less of a supply of it in circulation, the price of it will go up. So I think that's what's going to happen. I'm not a financial investor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just saying from my knowledge of what I know about the industry, that's what's happening with the halving, is that the rewards are being cut in half from the miners. So to get a little bit more in depth here, so now that you have an understanding of what's happening with the halving and what it is, why it's happening, when it's happening, I think the overall impact of this, like I said, will be a price increase over time. Now, historical data has shown us that over the last 3 halvings, which have already happened every 4 years since 2008, the price has gone up in a 12 to 15 month window after the halving. So there has been a ramp up of price before the halving, then a slight dip, and then over time, that big price increase typically happens right around a 445-day mark, typically right after the halving. So you're talking about that 12 to 15 month window. August 2021 is where they're saying this could be the huge jump in Bitcoin price. Not making any predictions, just going off of historical data. To give you the rundown, last time in 2016 when this happened, the price shot up to $20,000 US in December of 2017. So you can see there, the data shows us 12 to 15 months after the halving is what happens. Price is typically going to be baked into the halving events. Demand is going to go up. The hype is there. There's a lot of different things and variables that are influencing price right now. And it's going to be exciting to see what happens after the halving. That's what's going on with the market overall with Bitcoin. I think what's going to happen is we are seeing right now resistance levels. What are resistance levels? So this is going to be a trade analysis term. So when you're looking at those charts with all the candlesticks, depending on what charts you're looking at, the resistance levels are a price point in which the rise of price of an asset is stopped because of a growing number of sellers. So for example, let's say Bitcoin shoots up to $10,000. People may have bought in at Bitcoin when it dropped down to $3,000 or $7,000. And that is the resistance level at which people say, hey, I'm going to jump out and take my profits. I'm going to sell this Bitcoin. I'm going to sell this Bitcoin. So that is a resistance level when there are more sellers in the market than there is buyers. So those sellers tend to drop the price because they want to sell and get rid of it. So that's what we mean by resistance level. And you'll see when you look at charts, you can see when it jumps up to the crest there at the top, and then it drops down. Then it jumps back up to it, around that same level. Right now, the resistance level is right around $9,500. Today is May 5th. So we'll see what happens. We're only 7 days away from this halving, which is happening on May 12th. Also want to talk to you a little bit about support levels. What are support levels? So once again, this is going to be more trade analysis and looking at those charts. When you look at a Bitcoin chart, on Coin Marketplace, any of these places that have all these charts, you're looking for these support levels. And support levels are a price at which buyers tend to purchase or enter the market. So support levels in trading, more specifically, can be created by limit orders or simply the market action of traders and investors. So, for example, if a price drops from, let's say today, I think Bitcoin's at $8,800. If it drops down to 7,500 overnight, and you see that the bottom of the crest hit the bottom and then it jumps back up. That's a support level. So when you see the price hit a certain number and then it goes back up, that means more buyers are jumping into the market because they want to buy that asset. So for example, Bitcoin's being bought when it's dropping down right now because people understand that the price will eventually go up. So they want to get that value when they see a dip down to $7,500, $8,000. Right now, support levels that we're looking at is right around $8,400, and you'll see another support level at $7,700. So if you look at previous charts, you'll see where these bounces happen right around those marks, the $8,400 mark and then the $7,700 mark. Check for those bounces. So those are the support levels at the bottom, resistance levels at the top. So when you're looking at all these charts and you're seeing all this stuff, you may have no idea what the hell it means. Look for the tops of the crest and see kind of where those things are at. Once again, not trying to give you guys investment advice, just trying to give you the basics of looking at a Bitcoin chart and understanding it. Understand what the halving is, what that means for the marketplace, what that means for Bitcoin, what that means for crypto overall. It will be interesting to see because a lot of other cryptocurrencies are tied and correlated to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin performs really well, then that means other altcoins may perform really well. So we'll see what happens here. I'm not making any predictions. All I know is that in the long term, I find value personally in most cryptocurrencies. Your top 25, there are a lot of other emerging cryptos that I have been liking, but all in all, halving is going to be an exciting event that happens in the next week. If you don't know more information about it, feel free to look it up. We're going to be putting up more information for you guys, putting out weekly articles. So make sure you check that out. CryptoLiveLeak. If you have not liked, subscribe, smash our like buttons on Twitter and Instagram. We're going to be all over the place covering this for you guys. I hope this brought you something of sort of value, some little crumb today where you can go down another rabbit trail or take you down another hole that will hopefully bring you into the crypto and blockchain cryptopia that we find ourselves in. Until next time, over and out.